I think that new item is actually just going to be so ungodly broken. I really hope they don't push it through. I really, really hope they don't push it through. The best way I have to describe it, it's going to be like a nuclear arms race. It's going to be like a nuclear arms race, basically. If you can't use that new item, you're fucked. You're actually just fucked. Pull up the stats of the item. I remember them from the top of my head. I think I remember them correctly from the top of my head. Let me try to remember. So it's like 50 damage, 10 lethality, 15 lifesteal, 40 to 120% attack speed against isolated targets. And the worst part, it doesn't actually help you split push. Because, like, if you try to split push with that item, and you get 2v1'd, it turns off. I thought it was if you were isolated. Oh, so when you're isolated. Oh. Someone told me it worked the other way. So yeah, no, it's totally a nuclear arms race. It's 18 lethality. This is actually just a terrible item for the game, I think. I think this item is actually terrible for League of Legends. So, basically, if I'm playing Aatrox, right? Not only does Death's Dance get blown the fuck out by this item, but, like, if my opponent goes this item, and I go Death's Dance, like, okay, what do I do? I can't exactly match it. But what I'm saying, Twitch chat, what I'm saying is that, like, what exactly... If I'm playing Aatrox, right? And my opponent plays, let's say, Rengar top. Not only does the Rengar top beat me early game, but he can go this item, grab Duskblade, so he goes this item with Duskblade. Like, what do I do? I can't split push. But this item just seems to make your life a miserable fucking hell. If your opponent goes it, but you can't go it. Because if you 2v1 your opponent, it turns off, right? But what if I'm in a position where I can't particularly 2v1? Like, what if Fiora builds it? Or what if Tryndamere builds it? Like, what if my jungler just doesn't help me? Do I just die? Do I just blow up? Is that just it? It's just, I'm now a useless champion? I have to let them take all my turrets and shit? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make any sense. It seems to put an arbitrary nuclear arms race rule on bruisers, where if you can use that item, you're viable, and if you can't use that item, you're fucked. Yeah, it's basically fucking Spirit Ocean, actually. Yeah. It's another item where once I get it, I can't 1v1 them anymore. In team fights, it might be balanced, okay? But, like, I would say it's actually worse than Spirit Ocean, because Spirit Ocean, I feel I could maybe outplay. I can jump a wall. I can try to, like, play defensively, bait out the ult, back out of the fight. You know, something. Something, right? Something. That item never turns off, activates against turrets, doesn't it? And the only counterplay is I need my teammates to macro properly or I die. I think it should probably just give 15% total healing and then replace Death's Dance if they're going to make it like that. Because basically, the current iteration of this item is, does your champion auto attack rather than use abilities? Okay, here's a more powerful version of Death's Dance. That's basically how it reads. What are two items that are very similar, but one is blatantly superior? I might say Death's Dance and Bloodthirster, but Bloodthirster actually has like a legitimate use, doesn't it? No, see, the thing about Bloodthirster is it actually has a real advantage with the shield. Oh, I have a good example. Back before they nerfed the fuck out of Dead Man's Plate, and Dead Man's Plate gave 600 HP, 50 armor, and Warmogs hadn't... I don't think Warmogs gave cool... Did Warmogs give cooldown reduction at that time? Widsend and Maw is actually a good example. Yeah, so Dead Man's Plate and Warmogs. Warmogs gave 800 HP and the healing passive. Dead Man's gave 600 HP, 50 armor, and the movement speed. And it basically became... Literally, why the fuck would I use this item? Sure, it gives 200 less health, but it's so much fucking better, it's unbelievable. That's how I feel this item is compared to Death's Dance. Sure, it gives less damage. Sure, it doesn't give cooldown reduction. But when you look at the effect of the item, if I go Death's Dance and you go this item, I get blown the fuck out, and I cannot even fucking reasonably compare. I cannot even start to compare. Wait, it gives cooldown reduction? Wait, does it really? Oh. So... any champion that uses abilities rather than auto attack is just fucked. You're actually just fucked. These two items aren't that comparable, lol. It's not like this item is going to delay damage like DD. I'm going to be honest, the damage delay on Death's Dance is not really why anyone builds it. There's a reason why buffing the bleed didn't really make it useful. Whereas buffing it to heal on all damage suddenly turned it into an item that everyone wanted to build. Unless you have a champ that synergizes with it exceptionally well, it's not that insane. Okay. Twitch chat, it doesn't have CDR. Okay. Twitch chat, hear me out on this one. Let's just say it was 40 attack speed. Let's just say it was 40 attack speed. That's it. Can you please explain to me how this is not efficient? With 40% attack speed, the item is 120% gold efficient. Death's Dance is 115% gold efficient. Without its bleed passive, 115%. So, let's keep in mind, Twitch chat, that this isn't 40, this is 40 to 110. This game creates a nuclear arms race where the people who can use it and the people who can't use it will be very, very, very harshly divided. Wait, it's 80 to 120? Okay, so it's 50 damage, 15 lifesteal, 18 lethality, 50... Nope, my bad, it's 50 to 120. If you cannot use this item, you just can't compete. You just can't compete. There's no fucking way anymore you can stay on the split push if they build this item. It's even worse in Spiritosian, because remember, in a Spiritosian world, there are still champions other than Jax and Renekton that are played top lane. With this item, there's just no fucking way. There's just no way that you can compete. And the item becomes only 91% gold efficient once an enemy teammate shows up. So basically, once my enemy builds this item, split pushing to me is gone. If Jax goes this item, if Rengar goes this item, if Tryndamere goes this item, split pushing is gone. I have... The dude basically just built a 4,000 gold item for 3,000 gold. Quinn? Dear God, can you imagine Quinn with this shit? Quinn at one item? Let's look at it this way. At one item, she completes this item. She comes at you. She now has 50 damage, 18 lethality, 15 lifesteal, and 90 attack speed. At one item. What can you build for 3,000 gold that can compete with this? Let me actually just be clear. If she builds this item and boots for 3,300 gold. Like, let me try to math this out for you guys. Let me try to give you, like, an example. That might make you realize what this is. If Quinn gets a few plates on you and a few more CS, right? And she's generated a 400 or 500 gold lead over the laning phase, right? But you go, okay, I'll stabilize the laning phase. You go Ninja Tabby. You go Warhammer. You go Kindle Gem. That's 3,000 gold, right? So you are Ninja Tabby, Warhammer, Kindle Gem. You've built some early game items and some defensive items. For that gold, with a mere... only 300 gold advantage. So she's got like 10 CS and a turret plate on you, and that's it. You've actually done well. She only has 10 CS and a turret plate on you. Good fucking job. You laned against Quinn, and now she has this.